Okay. You can start, huh?
Yes, Prabhu. निवेदन करी प्रभु তোমার চরণে নিবেদন করি প্রভু তোমার চরণে পতিত দমামি জানি ত্রিভুবনে পতিত দমামি জানি ত্রিভুবনে अमसम पापी नाही जगत पितोरे मम सम अपराधी नाही को संसारी से सब पाप आमी सब जानो तुम्ही बिन करामी लोईबो चरण तुम्ही सर्वेश्वरेश्वर ब्रजेंद्र नंदन जगत तुम्हार नाथ तुम्ही सर्वमोय तुम प्रति अपराध तुम्ही करक्षोय तुम्ही तो स्खलिता पद जाने राष्ट्रोय तुम्ही बिनार किबा आची दोयमो रूप तव अपराधी जन जाता तोमार शरणागत होई बेसतत भक्ति विनोदाय बे लोय शरण तू आपदे कोरे आज आत्मसमर्पण तू पद कोरे आज आत्मसमर्पण निवेदन कोरी प्रभु तोमर चरणे जय भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर जय भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर जय भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर जय भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर जय जय प्रभुपाद जय श्रील प्रभुपाद निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल
Jai.
प्रभु
Thank you. Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai. Thank
जय
you
श्री
so
राम
much. Very, very nice. Yes, actually, yes. Lena, would you like to read the translation?
Sorry, yes, please.
Very good.
I submit at your lotus feet, O Lord, that I am fallen and wretched, a fact known to the three worlds. Do you want me to read all of it?
Yeah, go on.
Thank you. There is no sinner more sinful than me in the entire material creation. There is no offender whose offenses equal mine. By attempting to clear myself of all these sins and offenses, I am put to shame and beg your forgiveness. All this is understood by you. Of whom will I take shelter except for you, O Son of the King of Raja? You are the Lord of all the lords. This world is yours, and you pervade all things in it. You forgive the offenses committed against you. You alone are the shelter of those who have gone astray. Apart from you, what else exists, O merciful Lord? Those like me who have offended you will know no peace until achieving your shelter. Bhaktivinoda takes shelter in you and surrenders himself at your lotus feet on this very day. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much.
Thank you for that. So that was Nivedana Kori Prabhu Tomara Charane from the Sharanagati.
So we're going to read the. No, wait, wait.
Stop
Yeah.
recording.
No, just carry on. Okay, so welcome, dear devotees. I'd like to seek your good wishes and your blessings so that we can observe this Ekadashi together. It's always nice to do that. And especially we will read the Ekadashi Katha now, which will be followed by the Vishnu Sahasranam, which is beautifully recited by Radhika. And it's Amma Lucky Ekadashi. Go for it.
Lucky.
Mhm.
So Amalaki Ekadashi. The topics of the glories of Amalaki Ekadashi, which occurs during the waxing moon in the month of February-March, are described in the Brahmanda Purana in the conversation between King Mandatta and sage Vashist. Once King Mandatta asks sage Vashist, "O most fortunate one, if you are pleased with and merciful to me, then kindly describe to me about a vow by following of which I can attain all auspiciousness." The sage Vasist replied, "O king, now I will explain to you the glories and history of a great vow which awards one all auspiciousness. O king, the name of this vow is Amalaki Ekadashi. The influence of the piety accumulated by following this Ekadashi certainly destroys all one's sins, sinful reactions, and awards liberation, as well as the result of donating 1,000 cows in charity." In the ancient times, there was a city named Vaidisha that was inhabited by many healthy and prosperous Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Sudras. O lion-hearted king, there was no atheistic or sinful person in this beautiful city. The entire city was filled with the sound of Vedic mantras. In this famous city, there lived a truthful, pious king named Chaitra Rath, who was born in the family of King Pashabinduka, a member of the dynasty of the moon. King Chaitra Rath was powerful, heroic, opulent, and well versed in the scriptures. During the reign of this king, all auspiciousness and prosperity was found in the kingdom. All his subjects were attached to the devotional service of Lord Vishnu, and all of them observed the vow of Ekadashi. Due to remaining engaged in the devotional service of Lord Hari, everyone lived happily in his kingdom. There was not a single poor or miserly person in this kingdom. After living happily for many, many years in this way, once Amalaki Ekadashi conjoined with Dwadashi, which occurs during the waxing moon in the month of February-March. Realizing that this Ekadashi bestows great benefits, the king and his subjects resolved to observe this Ekadashi with proper rules and regulations. Early in the morning of the day of Ekadashi, the king and his subjects took bath in the river and went to the temple of Lord Vishnu, which is situated on the river bank. Within the temple, there was an Amalaki tree, where the king placed a pitcher filled with water and an umbrella, clothes, shoes, and 5 kinds of jewels for the worship. Thereafter, the king worshipped Lord Parshuram and Amalaki by offering water, shoes, canopy, gold, diamonds, rubies, pearls, sapphires, and fragrant incense. Then the king, led by the sages and followed by his subjects, offered prayers to Lord Parshuram as follows. O Lord Parshuram, O son of Renuka, O you who is situated under the shade of the Amalaki tree, O bestower of material enjoyment and liberation, I offer my respectful obeisances to you. Then they offered prayers to the Amalaki tree. O Amalaki, O sustainer of the universe, O offspring of Lord Brahma, O destroyer of all sins, we offer our respectful obeisances to you. Kindly accept our offering. After properly worshipping the Lord and the Amalaki in this way, the king, accompanied by his subjects, remained awake that night within the temple of Lord Vishnu. They sang songs and offered beautiful prayers with devotion in praise of the Lord and the Amalaka tree. At that time, by the arrangement of Providence, a hunter came there. This hunter earned his livelihood simply by killing various living entities. When he came to the temple, which was decorated with a ghee lamp, incense, and other auspicious items, and so that many people were remaining awake by glorifying the Lord, he sat down with them and began to contemplate what was going on. A fortunate hunter took darshan of Lord Damodar, who was placed on top of the picture, and began to hear the transcendental topics of Vishnu. Although he was afflicted with hunger, he was astonished to see this and remained awake that whole night while hearing the glories of Ekadashi. In the morning, the king left for his palace accompanied by his subjects. The hunter also returned home and happily took his meal. After many, many years, the hunter left his body. By the influence of Amalaki Ekadashi and the result of remaining awake on the night of this Ekadashi, in the next life, the hunter became a king with innumerable elephants, horses, chariots, and a large army. The hunter took birth as Vasurat, the powerful son of King Vidurat, who ruled the famous city of Jayanti. King Vasurat ruled 1 million villages. He was as brilliant as the sun, as effulgent as the moon, as powerful as Lord Vishnu, and as tolerant as the earth. He was truthful and fixed in his occupational duties, and thus became a great devotee of Lord Vishnu. One day, King Vasurat, who was very kind and charitable, lost his way while hunting in the forest. He was extremely tired and afflicted with hunger. Not finding any other alternative, the king lied down within that dense forest, using his arm as a pillow. At that time, some Malachas who lived in that forest came before the sleeping king and began to torture him in various ways. Considering the king to be their enemy, they attempted to kill him. They thought that this king had previously killed our fathers, mothers, sons, grandsons, and uncles and had compelled us to wander aimlessly. Speaking in this way, the Mlechas took up their different weapons and began to beat the king. But to the artist's surprise, none of the weapons touched the body of the king, and as a result, the king did not feel any injury at all. When all the weapons were used up, the Mlechas became morose and lifeless due to fear. They lost all power to move any further. At that time, a beautiful, extraordinary woman, decorated with various ornaments and fragrant sandalwood paste, appeared from the body of the king. She was decorated with an attractive flower garland, and her eyes were reddish due to anger. She raised her eyebrows, and holding a disc in her hand, she rushed towards the Mlechas to kill them in an angry mood. Within a moment, that powerful woman killed all the sinful Mlechas. After this incident, the king woke up. On seeing such a ghastly scene, the king, who just got up from sleep, became frightened and stunned. When the king saw his fierce-looking enemies lying killed, he became astonished and said, "Alas, who is that most well-wishing friend of mine who has protected my life by killing these powerful enemies? I convey my heartfelt gratitude to him for this great act." At that time, a voice from the sky was heard. Who else except Lord Keshav is capable of protecting his surrendered souls? He alone is the maintainer of surrendered devotees. After hearing this voice from the sky, the king became extremely amazed and his heart melted with devotional feeling. Thereafter, the king returned to his palace and ruled his kingdom just like Indra without any obstacles. The sage Vasisht continued, "My dear king, any person who observes the vow of the sacred Amalaki Ekadashi undoubtedly returns to the abode of Lord Vishnu." Amalaka Ekadashi ki jai.
Jai. Thank you so much. Any questions, any comments on this Ekadashi? And thank you for the darshan, Lina. Very beautiful.
Hare Krishna, Krishna's mercy.
Definitely. So let's go to.
So which Purana was this?
Brahmanda Purana. They're all the stories are all from the Brahmanda Purana or the Bhavishyottara Purana.
Thank you.
Thank you. Let me find the Vishnu. Anything you'd like to share first, Radhika?
No, Prabhu, I'd just like to compliment Deepika Mataji. Her singing was beautiful.
Oh, she's extraordinary. Is she there?
I heard her for the first time. It was
Oh,
very
she's
lovely.
amazing.
Thank you.
She's
Thank
amazing.
you, Mataji. Thank you so much.
Every Thursday she sings with Ananda Leela, and between them they sing these bhajans by Bhaktivinoda Thakur, and they're such deep bhajans. And the way they sing them really complements how Bhaktivinoda Thakur, gave them to us. So I'm very grateful to both of them for doing that. Now, I'm just trying to find.
Bookmarks.
Yeah, where's the bookmarks? Just 1 second. Just bear with us for a second. As you can see, technology is not our strong point. Bookmarks, yeah. Okay, come on. Got it. Okay. So, let's find that. There you go. Is this the right one, Radhika?
Yes, it's fine.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Coming up. Are you able to make that full screen at all, Prabhu? Thank you. So I'll just read a little bit about the Vishnu Sahasranama for several new participants today. Sri Vishnu Sahasranama, meaning 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu, is one of the most popular and one of the most powerful prayers in praise of Lord Vishnu. Each name is a unique quality of the Supreme Lord, bestows many benefits including name, health, wealth, beauty, victory, freedom, happiness, knowledge, and an all-round growth. It takes away any obstacles, helps relieve diseases, suffering, pain of all kinds. It can also bring about an end to the cycle of life and death. Each recitation and meditation brings about a positive change in one's consciousness and gives peace of mind. A joy starts to flow from inside, says somebody who has been reading this for several years. Not just the chanting is so beneficial, but also just listening to the 1,000 names of Vishnu Sahasranam is equally beneficial. So to everybody who's going to be listening to the names is also, it's the same sense of auspicious.
No, thank you. That's really good.
Thank you.
The reciter, the hearer, they all win, isn't it, on this one? It's amazing.
Yes.
Just a very quick one. Ashish, it's F11, but that's just giving us the sound. Oh, no, we can't hear you. Don't worry.
I think it looks clear now.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Thank you.
So we'll start with the
Yes,
prayer
please. Yes, thank you.
with a prayer to Lord Ganesh in the first two verses. That's to Ganesh. Om Shuklam Bharadaram Vishnum Shashivaranam Chaturbhujam Prasannavadanam Dhyayet Sarva Vignopashantaye Vyasam Vasishta Naptaram Shakter Portamakalmasham पराशरात्मजं वन्दे शुकतातं तपोनिधिं व्यासाय विष्णुरूपाय व्यासरूपाय विष्णवे नमो वै ब्रह्मनिधये वासिष्ठाय नमो नमः अविकाराय शुद्धाय नित्याय परमात्मने सदैकरूपरूपाय विष्णवे सर्वजिष्णवे यस्य स्मरणमात्रेण जन्मसंसारबन्धनात् विमुच्यते नमस्तस्मै विष्णवे प्रभविष्णवे ॐ नमो विष्णवे प्रभविष्णवे श्रीवैशम्पायन उवाच श्रुत्वा धर्मानशेषेण पावनानि सशर्वशः युधिष्ठिरश्शान्तनवं पुनरेवाभ्यभाषत युधिष्ठिर उवाच किमेकं दैवतं लोके किं वाप्येकं परायणं स्तुवन्तः कं कमर्चन्तः प्राप्नुयुर्माणवा शुभं को धर्मः सर्वधर्माणां भवतः परमो मतः किं जपन्मुच्यते जन्तुर्जन्म संसारबन्धनात् श्रीभीष्मर उवाच जगत्प्रभुं देवदेवमनन्तं पुरुषोत्तमं स्तुवन्नाम सहस्रेण पुरुषः सततोत्थितः तमेव चार्चयन्नित्यं भक्त्या पुरुषमव्ययम् ध्यायन् स्तुवन्नमस्यं यजमानस्तमेव च अनाधिनिधनं विष्णुं सर्वलोकमहेश्वरं लोकाध्यक्षं स्तुवन्नित्यं सर्वदुःखादिको भवेत् ब्रह्मण्यं सर्वधर्मज्ञं लोकानां कीर्तिवर्धनं लोकनाथं महद्भूतं सर्वभूतभवोद्भवम् एष मे सर्वधर्माणां धर्मोऽधिकतमो मतः यद्भक्त्या पुण्डरीकाक्षं स्तवेरच्चैन्नरः सदा परमं यो महत्तेज परमं यो महत्तपः परमं यो महद्ब्रह्म परमं यःपरायणम् पवित्राणां पवित्रं यो मङ्गलानां च मङ्गलं दैवतं देवतानां च भूतानां यो ययः पिता यतः सर्वाणि भूतानि भवन्त्यादियुगागमे यस्मिंश्च प्रलयन्यान्ति पुनरेव युगक्षये तस्य लोकप्रधानस्य जगन्नाथस्य भूपते विष्णोर्नाम सहस्रं ने शृणु पापभयापहं यानि नामानि गुम्नामि विख्यातानि महात्मनः ऋषिभिः परिगीतानि तानि वक्ष्यामि भूतये विशिर्नाम्नां सहस्रस्य वेदव्यासो महामुनिः छन्दोनुस्तुप्तथा देवो भगवान् देवकीसुतः अमृतांशुद्भवो बीजं शक्तिर्देवकीनन्दनः त्रिसामाहृदयं तस्य शान्त्यर्थे विनियुज्यते विष्णुं जिष्णुं महाविष्णुं प्रभविष्णुं महेश्वरम् अनेकरूपदैत्यान्तं नमामि पुरुषोत्तमम् अस्य श्रीविष्णोर्दिव्यसहस्रनामस्तोत्रमहामन्त्रस्य श्रीवेदव्यासो भगवान् ऋषिः अनुस्तुप्छन्दः श्रीमहाविष्णुपरमात्मा श्रीमन्नारायणो देवता अमृतांशुद्भवो भानुरितिबीजं देवकीनन्दन षष्ठेति शक्तिः उद्भवः क्षोभनो देव इति परमो मन्त्रः शङ्खबृन्नन्दकी चक्रीति कीलकं श्राङ्गधन्वा गदाधर यत्रस्तं रथाङ्गपाणिरक्षोभैति नेत्रं त्रिसामासामगः सामेति कवचम् आनन्दं परब्रह्मेति योनिः ऋतुषु दर्शनकालेति दिग्बन्धः श्रीविश्वरूप इति ध्यानं श्रीमहाविष्णुप्रीत्यर्थे सहस्रनाम जपे विनियोगः ध्यानं क्षीरोधन्वत्प्रदेशे शुचिमणिविलसत्सैकते मुक्तिकानां मालाक्लिप्तासनस्थस्फटिकमणिनिभैर्मुक्तिकैर्मण्डिताङ्गः शुभ्रैरप्रेरतप्रेयुपरिविरचितै मुक्तपीयूषवर्षैः आनन्दीन पुनीयाधरिनलिलगधाशङ्खपाणिर्मुकुन्दः बुःपादौ यस्य नाभिर्वियतसुरनिलश्चन्द्रसूर्यौ च नेत्रे कर्णावासा शिरोध्यो मुखमपि दहनो यस्य वास्तेयमब्धिः अन्तस्थं यस्य विश्वं सुरनरखगो भोगि गन्धर्वदैत्यैः चित्रं रम्यते तं त्रिभुवनवपुषं विष्णुमीशं नमामि ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय शान्ताकारं भुजगशयनं पद्मनाभं सुरेशं विश्वाधारं गगनसदृशं मेघवर्णं शुभाङ्गं लक्ष्मीकान्तं कमलनयनं योगिहृध्यानगम्यं वन्दे विष्णुं भवभयहरं सर्वलोकैकनाथं मेघश्यामं पीठकौसेयवासं श्रीवत्साङ्गं कौस्तुभोद्भासिताङ्गं पुण्योपेतं पुण्डरीकायताक्षं विष्णुं वन्दे सर्वलोकैकनाथं नमः समस्तभूतानामादिभूताय भूभृते अनेकरूपरूपाय विष्णवे प्रभविष्णवे शशङ्खचक्रं शकिरीतकुण्डलं सपीतवस्त्रं सरसीरुहेक्षणं सहारवक्षस्थलस्थोभिकौस्तुभं न विष्णुं शिरसा चतुर्भुजम् सहारवक्षस्थलस्थोभिकौस्तुभं नमामि विष्णुं शिरसा चतुर्भुजं छायायां पारिजातस्य हेमसिंहासनोपरि आसीनमबुधस्याम मायताक्षमलङ्कृतं चन्द्राननं चतुर्बाहुं श्रीवत्साङ्कितवक्षसं रुक्मिणी सत्यभामाज्ञां सहितं कृष्णमाश्रये. The 1,000 names begin now. ॐ विश्वं विष्णुर्वषत्कारो भूतभव्यभवत्प्रभुः भूतकृद्भूतभृद्भावो भूतात्मा भूतभावनः भूतात्मा परमात्मा च पुक्तानां परमागतिः अव्ययपुरसस्साक्षी क्षेत्रज्ञो शेरयेव च योगो योगविदां नेता प्रधानपुरुषेश्वरः नारसिंहवपु श्रीमान् केशवः पुरुषोत्तमः सर्वशर्वशिवस्थाणुर्भूतादिर्निधिरव्ययः संभवो भावनो भर्ता प्रथव प्रभुरीश्वरः स्वयंभू शम्भुरादित्य पुष्कराक्षो महास्वनः अनाधिनितनो धाता विधाता तरुत्तमः अप्रमेयो ऋषिकेश पद्मनाभो मरप्रभुः विश्वकर्मा मनुस्त्वष्टा स्तविश्चस्तविरो ध्रुवः अग्राय शाश्वत कृष्णो लोहिताक्षप्रदर्शनः प्रभूतस्तिककुत्थाम पवित्रं मङ्गलं परम् ईशान प्राणद प्राणो ज्येष्ठ श्रेष्ठ प्रजापतिः हिरण्यगर्भो भूगर्भो माधवो मधुसूदनः ईश्वरो विक्रमी धन्वी मेधावी विक्रमक्रमः अनुत्तमोदुरादर्श कृतज्ञकृतिरात्मवान् सुरेश शरणं शर्म विश्वरेता प्रजाभवः अह संवत्सरो व्याल प्रत्यय सर्वदर्शनः अज सर्वेश्वर सिद्ध सिद्धि सर्वादिरच्युतः वृषाकपिरमेयात्मा सर्वयोगविनिश्रुतः वसुर्वसुमना सत्य समात्मा समितः समः अमोघ पुण्डरीकाक्षो वृषकर्मा वृषाकृतिः रुद्रो बहुशिरा बभ्रुर्विश्वयोनिषुचिषवाः अमृत शाश्वत स्थाणुर्परारोहो महातपाः सर्वग सर्वविद्वानुर्विश्वक्षेणो जनार्दनः वेदो वेदविदव्यङ्गो वेदाङ्गो वेदवित्कविः लोकाध्यक्ष सुराध्यक्षो धर्माध्यक्ष कृताकृतः चतुरात्मा चतुर्व्यूहश्चतुर्धंशश्चतुर्भुजः भ्राजिष्णुर्भोजनं भोक्ता सहिष्णुश्च गदाजितः अनघो विजयोजेता विश्वयोनिर्पुनर्वसुः उपेन्द्रो वामनप्रांशुरमोघ शुचिरुचितः अतीन्द्र संग्रह सर्गो धृतात्मा नियमो यमः वैद्यो वैद्य सदा योगी वीरः माधवो मतुः अतीन्द्रियो महामायो महोत्साहो महाबलः महाबुद्धिर्महावीर्यो महाशक्तिर्महाद्युतिः अनिर्देशवपु श्रीमान् अमे आत्मा महाधृतत् महेश्वासो महीभर्ता श्रीनिवास सताङ्गतिः अनिरुद्धसुरानन्दो गोविन्दो गोविदाम्पतिः मरीचिद्दमनोहंस सुपर्णो भुजगोत्तमः हिरण्यनाभ सुतपा पद्मनाभ प्रजापतिः अमृत्यु सर्वदिक्सिंह सन्दाता सन्तिमान् स्थिरः अजो दुर्मशनस्तास्ता विशुरात्मा सुरारिः गुरुर्गुरुतमो धाम सत्य सत्य पराक्रमः निमिषो निमिषस्रग्वी वाचस्पटिरुरारधीः अग्रणी ग्रामणी श्रीमान् न्यायो नेता समीरणः सहस्रमूर्धा विश्वात्मा सहस्राक्ष सहस्रपात् आवर्तनो निवृत्तात्मा संवृत संभ्रमर्थनः अह संवर्तको वह्निललिलोधरनीधरः सुप्रसाद प्रसन्नात्मा विश्वतित् विश्वभुक् विभुः सत्कर्ता सत्कुतस्सारुर्जह्नुर्नारायणो नरः असङ्ख्येयो प्रमेयात्मा विशिष्ट शिष्टकृच्युचिः सिद्धार्थ सिद्ध संकल्प सिद्धिद सिद्धिसाधनः वृषा हि वृषभो विष्णुर्विषपर्वा वृषोधरः वर्तनो वर्तमानश्च विविक्तश्रुतिसागरः सुभुजो दुर्धरो वाग्मी महीन्द्रो वसुतो वसुः नैकरूपो बृहद्रूप शिपिविष्टप्रकाशनः ओजस्तेजोदिरः प्रकाशात्मा प्रतापनः बुद्धस्पष्टाक्षरो मन्त्रश्चन्द्रांशुर्भास्करद्युतिः अमृतांशुद्भवो भानुः सुरेश्वरः औषधं जगजस्सेतु सत्यधर्मपराक्रमः भूतभव्यभवन्नाथ पवनपावनो नलः कामः कामकृत्कान्तः कामप्रदप्रभुः युगादिकृत्युदावर्तो नैकमायो महाशनः अदृश्यो व्यक्तरूपश्च सहस्रजितनन्तजित् इष्टो विशिष्टशिष्टेष्ट शिखण्डी नरुषो वृषः क्रोधः क्रोधकृत्कर्ता विश्वबाहुर्महीधरः अच्युतप्रथितप्राणप्राणदो वासवानुजः अपां निधिरधिष्ठानमप्रमत्तप्रतिष्ठितः स्कन्दस्कन्दतरोदुर्यो वरदो वायुवाहनः वासुदेवो बृहद्भानुरादिदेवः पुरन्दरः अशोकस्तारनस्तार शूरः शौरिचनेश्वरः अनुकूलशतावर्त पद्मी पद्मनिभेक्षणः पद्मनाभोरविन्दाक्ष पद्मगर्भशरीरभृत् महद्धिरिक्तो वृत्तात्मा महाक्षोगरुडध्वजः अतुलशरभूभीम समयज्ञो हविर्हरिः सर्वलक्षणलक्षण्यो लक्ष्मीवान् समितिञ्जयः विक्षरोरोहितो मार्गो हेतुर्दामोदरः सहः महीधरो महाभागो वेगवान्विताशनः उद्भवः क्षोभनो देव श्रीगर्भः परमेश्वरः करणं कारणं कर्ता विकर्ता गहनो गुहः व्यवसायो व्यवस्थान संस्थान स्थानतो ध्रुवः परदिपरमस्पष्ट सुष्ट पुष्ट सुपेक्षणः रामो विरामो विरजो मार्गो नेयो नेयो नियः वीरशक्तिमतां श्रेष्ठो धर्मो धर्मविदुत्तमः वैकुण्ठपुरुष प्राण प्राणद प्रणवप्रभुः हिरण्यगर्भ शत्रुघ्नो व्याप्तो वायुरधोक्षजः ऋतुसुदर्शन काल परमेष्टि परिग्रहः उग्र संवत्सरो दक्षो विश्रामो विश्वदक्षिणः विस्तारस्थावनस्थानुप्रमाणं बीजमव्ययम् अर्थोऽनर्थो महाकोशो महाभोगो महाधनः अनिर्विन्नस्तविष्टो भूर्धर्मयूपो महामखः नक्षत्रनेमि नक्षत्री क्षाम क्षामक समीहनः यज्ञैजो महेजष्टु क्रतु सत्रं सताङ्गतिः सर्वदर्शी निवृत्तात्मा सर्वज्ञोज्ञानमोत्तमम् सुव्रत सुमुख सूक्ष्म सुघोष सुगത सुहृद मनोहरोजित क्रोधो वीरभाभुर्विधारणः स्वापन स्वविशो व्यापी नैकात्मानेककर्मकृत् वत्सरो वत्सरो वत्सी रत्नगर्भोधनेश्वरः धर्मकृद्धर्मकृद्धर्मी सदसक्षरमक्षरम् अविज्ञाता सहस्रांशुर्विधाता कृतलक्षणः गभस्थिनेमिर्सत्त्वस्तसिंहो भूतमहेश्वरः आदिदेवो महादेवो देवेशो देववृत्कुरुः उत्तरो गोपतिर्गोप्ता ज्ञानगम्यपुरातनः शरीरभूतभृत्पोक्ता कपीन्द्रो भूरि दक्षिणः सोमपोमृतपः सोमपुरुचित्पुरुसत्तमः विनयो जय सत्यसन्धो धाशारसात्वतां पतिः जीवो विनियता साक्षी मुकुन्दो मितविक्रमः अम्बोनिधिररन्तात्मा महोदधिशयोऽन्तकः अजो महारः स्वाधाव्यो जितामित्रप्रमोदनः आनन्दोऽनन्तनोऽनन्द सत्यधर्मात्रिविक्रमः महर्षिर्कपिलाचार्य कृतज्ञो मेदिनीपतिः त्रिपदस्य दशाध्यक्ष महाशङ्खकृतान्तकृत् महावराहो गोविन्द सुषेण कनकाङ्गदी गुह्यो गभीरो गहनो गुप्तश्चक्रकथाधरः वेदास्वाङ्गोजितकृष्णो धृतसङ्कर्षणोच्युतः वरुणो वारुणो वृक्षपुष्कराक्षो महामनाः भगवानन्दी वनमाली हलायुतः आदित्यो ज्योतिरादित्य सहिष्णुर्गतिसत्तमः सुधन्वाखण्डपरशुद्धारुणो द्रविणप्रदः दिवस्पृक्सर्वदिग्व्यासो वाचस्फटिरयोनिजः त्रिसामासामगस्साम निर्वाणं भेषशम्भिषक् सन्न्यासकृष्टमच्छान्तो निष्ठा शान्तिपरायणम् शुभांगशान्तितशृष्टा कुमुदकुवलेशयः गोहितो गोपतिर्गोप्ता वृषभाक्षो वृषप्रियः अनिवर्ती निवृत्तात्मा संसेक्षाक्षेमकृच्छिवः श्रीवत्सवक्षा श्रीवास श्रीपति श्रीमतांबरः श्रीधर श्रीश श्रीनिवास श्रीनिधिल श्रीविभावनः श्रीधर श्रीकर श्रेय श्रीमान् लोकत्रयाशयः स्वक्षस्वङ्गशतानन्दो नन्दिर्ज्योतिर्गणेश्वरः विजितात्मा विधेयात्मा सत्कीर्तिश्चिन्न संशयः उदीर्न सर्वतिष्ठक्षुरनीश शाश्वतस्थिरः भूषयो भूषणो भूतिर्विशोकशोकनाशनः अर्चिष्मानर्चितकुम्भो विशुद्धात्मा विशोधनः अनिरुद्धो प्रदिधर प्रद्युम्नो मितविक्रमः कालनेमिनिहावीरशौरिशूरजनेश्वरः त्रिलोकात्मा त्रिलोकेश केशवकेशिहा हरिः कामदेव कामपालः कामी कान्तकृतागमः अनिदेशवपुर्विष्णुर्वीरो धनञ्जयः ब्रह्मण्यो ब्रह्मकृत् ब्रह्मा ब्रह्म ब्रह्मविवर्धनः ब्रह्मविद् ब्राह्मणो ब्रह्मी ब्रह्मज्ञो ब्राह्मणप्रियः महाक्रमो महाकर्मा महातेजा महोरगः महाक्रतुर्महायज्वा महायज्ञो महाहविः स्तव्यस्तव प्रियस्तोत्रं स्तुतिस्तोत्रारणप्रियः पूर्णपूर्णयिता पुण्यपुण्यकीर्तिर्नामयः मनोजवस्थितगरो वसुरेता वसुप्रदः वसुप्रदो वासुदेवो वसुर्वसुमनाहविः सत्कृतिसत्ता सद्बुद्धिसप्तरायणः शूरसेनो यदुश्रेष्ठ सन्निवाससूयामुनः भूतावासो वासुदेव सर्वासुनिलयो नलः दर्पः दर्पदोदुप्तो दुर्धरोधापरार्जितः विश्वमूर्तिर्महामूर्तिर्दीप्तमूर्तिरमूर्तिमान् अनेकमूर्तिरव्यक्त शतमूर्ति शताननः एकोनैकस्सवक्कं किं यत् पदमनुत्तमम् लोकबन्धुर्लोकनाथो माधवो भक्तवत्सलः सुवर्णवर्णो हेमाङ्गो वराङ्गश्चङ्गनागदी वीरः विषमशून्यो कृता क्षीरजलश्चलः अमानीमानदो मान्यो लोकस्वामी त्रिलोककृत् सुमेधामेधजोधन्य सत्यमेधाधराधरः तेजो वृषोद्युतिरः सर्वषष्टभुताम्बरः प्रग्रहो निग्रहो व्यग्रो नैकशृङ्गो गताग्रजः चतुर्मूर्तिश्चतुर्बाहुश्चतुर्व्यूहश्चतुर्गतिः चतुरात्मा चतुर्भावश्चतुर्वेदविदेकपात् समावर्तो निवृत्तात्मा दुर्जयो दुरतिक्रमः दुर्लभो दुर्गमो दुर्गो दुरावासो दुरारिहा शुभाङ्गुलोकसारङ्गस्तुतन्तुस्तन्तुवर्धनः इन्द्रकर्मा महाकर्मा कृतकर्मा कृतागमः उद्भवः सुन्दर सुन्दो रत्ननाभस्सुलोचनः अर्को वाचस नशृङ्गी जयन्तः सर्वविजयी सुवर्णबिन्दुरक्षोभः सर्वभागीश्वरेश्वरः महाहृदो महागर्तो महाभूतो महानिधिः कुमुदकुण्डरकुण्डप्रचिन्नपावनो निलः अमृतांशोऽमृतवपुः सर्वज्ञः सर्वतोमुखः सुलभः सुव्रतः सिद्धः शत्रुजिच्छत्रुतापनः न्यक्रोधोदुम्बरोस्वास्तचानूरान्धनिषूदनः सहस्राक्षी सप्तजिह्वः सप्तैता सप्तवाहनः अमूर्तिरनुगोचिन्त्यो भयकृद्भयनाशनः अनुबृहत्तु शस्तूलो गुणपुनृक्कुणो महान् अधृतस्वधृतस्वास्त प्राग्वंशो वंशवर्धनः भारभृत्कथितो योगी योगीश सर्वकामदः आश्रमशमनः क्षामः सुपर्णो वायुवाहनः धनुर्धरो धनुर्वेदो दण्डो दमयिता दमः अपराजितः सर्वसहो नियन्ता नियमो यमः सत्त्ववान् सात्विका सत्य सत्यधर्मपरायणः अभिप्राय प्रियाहोर प्रियकृत्प्रीतिवर्तनः विहाय सगतिर्ज्योति सुरुचित्तभुवि विभुः रविर्विरोचन सूर्य सविता रविलोचनः अनन्तहुत भुक्भोक्ता सुखदो नैकदोग्रजः अनिर्विण्णः सदामर्षि लोकाधिष्ठानमद्भुतः सनात् सनातनतमः कपिलः कपिरव्ययः स्वस्ति स्वस्ति कुत्स्वस्ति स्वस्ति भुक्स्वस्ति दक्षिणः अरोधः कुण्डली चक्री विक्रम यूजितशासनः शब्दाधिकः शब्दसः शिशिरशर्वरीकरः अक्रूरपेशलो दक्षो दक्षिणः क्षमिनाम्बरः विद्वत्तमो वीतभयपुण्यश्रवणकीर्तनः उत्तारणो दुष्कृतिः पुण्यो दुःस्वप्ननाशनः वीरः रक्षणः सन्तो जीवनपर्यवस्थितः अनन्तरूपोऽनन्तश्रीजितमन्युर्भयापहः चतुरश्रोकवीरात्मा विदिशो व्यादिशो दिशः अनादिभूर्भुवो लक्ष्मी सुवीरो रुचिराङ्गतः जननो जनजन्मादि भीमो भीमपराक्रमः आधारनिलयो धाता पुष्पहास प्रजागरः ऊर्ध्वगः सप्तदाचार प्राणद प्रणवप्रणः प्रमाणं प्राणनिलय प्राणभृत्प्राणजीवनः तत्त्वं तत्त्वविदेकात्मा जन्म मृत्युचराधिकः भूर्भुवस्वस्तरुस्तार सविता प्रपितामहः यज्ञो यज्ञपतिर्यज्वा यज्ञागो यज्ञवाहनः यज्ञभृत्यज्ञकृत्यग्नि यज्ञभृत्यज्ञसाधनः यज्ञान्तकृत्यज्ञगुह्यमन्नमन्नादयेव च आत्मयोनि स्वयं जातो वैखानसामगायनः देवकीनन्दन श्रेष्ठा शिरीशपापनाशनः शङ्खबृन्नन्दकी चक्री श्राङ्गधन्वा गदाधरः रथाङ्गपाणिरक्षोभ सर्वप्रहरणायुधः सर्वप्रहरणायुध ॐ नमः इति वनमालिकदीशाङ्की शङ्की चक्री च नन्दकी श्रीमान्नारायणो विष्णुर्वासुदेवोऽभिरक्षतु वनमालिकदीशाङ्की शङ्की चक्री च नन्दकी श्रीमान्नारायणो विष्णुवासुदेवोऽभिरक्षतु वनमालिकदीशाङ्की शङ्की चक्री च नन्दकी श्रीमान्नारायणो विष्णुवासुदेवोऽभिरक्षतु श्रीवासुदेवोऽभिरक्षतु ॐ नमः इति इतीदं कीर्तनीयस्य केशवस्य महात्मनः नाम्नां सहस्रं दिव्यानाम् अशिक्षेण प्रकीर्तितं यैदं शृणुयान्नित्यं यच्छापि परिकीर्तयेत् नाशुभं प्राप्नुयात् किञ्चित् सौमुत्रेह च मानवः वेदान्तको ब्राह्मणस्य क्षत्रियो विजयी भवेत् वैश्यो धनसमुद्रस्य शूद्रः सुखमवाप्नुयात् धर्मार्थी प्राप्नुयात् धर्ममर्थार्थी चार्थमाप्नुयात् कामानवाप्नुयात् कामी प्रजार्थी चाप्नुयात् प्रजाम् भक्तिमान्य सतोताय स्तुतिस्तक्कतमानसः सहस्रं वासुदेवस्य नाम्नामेकत् प्रकीर्तयेत् यश प्राप्नोति विपुलं याति प्राधान्यमेव च अचलां श्रियमाप्नोति श्रेयः प्राप्नोत्यनुत्तमं न भयं क्वचिदाप्नोति वीर्यं तेजश्च विन्दति भवत्यरोगो द्युतिमान् बलरूपगुणान्वितः रोगार्तो मुच्यते रोगात् बद्धो मुच्येत बन्धनात् भयान् मुच्येत भीतस्तु मुच्येत आपन्न आपदः दुर्गाण्यतितरत्याशु पुरुषोत्तमम् स्तुवन्नाम सहस्रेण नित्यं भक्तिसमन्वितः वासुदेवाश्रयो मर्त्यो वासुदेवपरायणः सर्वपापविशुद्धात्मा याति ब्रह्मसनातनं न वासुदेव भक्तानाम् अशुभं विद्यते क्वचित् जन्म मृत्युचराव्याधि भयं नैवोपजायते इमं स्तवमधीयान श्रद्धा भक्तिसमन्वितः युज्येतात्मसुखं शान्ति श्रीधति स्मृतिकीर्तिभिः न क्रोधो न मात्सर्यं न लोभो न शुभा मतिः भवन्ति कृतपुण्यानां भक्तानां पुरुषोत्तमे द्यौसचन्दार्कनक्षत्राखं दिशो भूर्महोदतिः वासुदेवस्य वीर्येण वृदितानि महात्मनः ससुरासुरगन्धर्वं सयक्षोरकराक्षसं जगद्वशे वर्तते तं कृष्णे सचरराचरम् इन्द्रियाणि मनोबुद्धिर्सत्त्वं तेजोबलं द्युतिः वासुदेवात्मकान्याहुः क्षेत्रं क्षेत्रज्ञ एव च सर्वागमानामाचारप्रथमं परिकल्पते आचारप्रभवो धर्मो धर्मस्य प्रभुरच्युतः ऋषयः ऋषयपितरो देवा महाभूतानि दातवः जङ्गमं जेदं जगन्नारायणोद्भवम् योगो ज्ञानं तथा साङ्ख्यं विद्या शिल्पादिकर्म च वेदाश्राष्टानि विज्ञान एतत् सर्वं जनार्दनात् एको विष्णुर्महद्भूतं पृथग्भूतान्यनेकवशः त्रिलोकान् व्यापभूतात्मा भुक्ते विश्वभुवव्ययः इमं स्तवं भगवतोर्विष्णोर्व्यासेन कीर्तितम् पतेत्यैच्छेत् पुरुषश्रेयः प्राप्तुं सुखानि च विश्वेश्वरमजं देवं जगतप्रभुमव्ययम् भजन्ति ये पुष्कराक्षं न ते यान्ति पराभवम् न ते यान्ति पराभवम् ॐ नमः इति अर्जुन उवाच पद्मपत्रविशालाक्ष पद्मनाभसुरोत्तमा भक्तानामनुरक्तानां त्रात्रा भवजनार्दना श्रीभगवानुवाच यो मां नाम सहस्रेण स्तोतुमिच्छति पाण्डवा सोऽहमेकेन श्लोकेन स्तुत एव न संशयः स्तुत एव न संशयो ॐ नमः इति श्रीव्यास उवाच वासनात् वासुदेवस्य वासितं भुवनत्रयम् सर्वभूतनिवासोऽसि वासुदेव नमोऽस्तु ते श्रीवासुदेव नमोऽस्तु ते ॐ नमः इति पार्वत्युवाच केनोपायेन लघुना विष्णोर्नाम सहस्रकम् पद्यते पण्डिते नित्यं श्रोतुमिच्छाम्यहं प्रभो श्रीश्वर उवाच श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने श्रीराम राम रामेति रमे रामे मनोरमे सहस्रनाम तत्तुल्यं राम नाम वरानने श्रीराम नाम वरानन ॐ नमः इति ब्रह्मोवाच नमोऽस्तुवन्ताय सहस्रमूर्तये सहस्रपादाक्षिशिरोरुबाहवे सहस्रनाम्ने पुरुषाय शाश्वते सहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमः सहस्रकोटियुगधारिणे नमः ॐ नमः इति श्रीसञ्जय उवाच यत्र योगेश्वर कृष्णो यत्र पार्थो धनुर्धरः तत्र श्रीविजयो भूतिर्ध्रुवा नीतिर्मतिर्मम श्रीभगवानुवाच अनन्याश्चिन्तयन्तो मां ये जना पर्युपासते तेषां नित्याभियुक्तानां योगक्षेमं वहाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्मसंस्थापनार्थाय सम्भवामि युगे युगे आर्ताविषण्णास्थितिलाश्च भीता घोरेषु च प्याशु च वर्तमानाः संकीर्तनारायण शब्दमार्तं विमुक्तदुःखा सुखिनो भवन्तु कायेन वाचा मनसेन्द्रियैर्वा बुद्ध्यात्मना वा प्रकृते स्वभावात् करोमि यत् सकलं परस्मै नारायणायेति समर्पयामि सर्वं श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु हरे कृष्ण
Hare Krishna, well done. That was amazing. Just hearing you chanting the Vishnu Sahasranam, so good. Thank you so much, Radhika.
हरे कृष्ण
Fantastic. Okay, anybody, any questions? There's one interesting bit about the, let me see if I can find the Vishnu Sahasranam. All of it's interesting, of course, but the one that particularly has caught my eye for the last few days, if I can find it. It's, there's one section of it. I don't know if Radhika, you will remember it. You probably will, but it says, Suvarna Varno Hemango Varanga.
सुवर्णवर्णो हेमांगो वरांगश्चंगनांगदी
Aha, you're a real expert.
वीरः yes that's a beautiful line
And this indicates actually, according to our acharyas, that it indicates Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
yes suvarna varna so it's a beautiful line in fact that whole the two lines go suvarna varno hemango varangaschanganangadi veeraha vishamashunyo krita shirajalaschalaha so I'm just going to pull out the
Yes.
meaning of this particular
I can,
verse. It's a beautiful verse.
I've got it here. Survarna Varna means he's got a golden complexion. Hemanga, he's the appearance of molten gold. Varanga is exquisitely beautiful. And Chandanangad, the Lord's body is smeared with sandalwood pulp. So, and then the second line, Sannyasa Krich. Is that what you said?
No.
It's a different one.
Viraha Vishamashunyo Krita Shira Chalaschalaha.
Okay. So those indicate that line indicates the appearance of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But there's another line as well. Sannyasa Kricha Jamaha.
Shamaschanto Nishta Shanti Parayanam.
Brilliant. You're really expert, Radhika.
I'd like to read these to the purport that I have.
Okay.
It's very similar to what you just read. It's verse 79. There are 108 shlokas in the Vishnu Sahasranam, and each line has about 8 to 10. Each line of the verse.
Right.
So this one, Suvarnavarno Hemango Varangaschanganangati Viraha Vishamashunyo Krita Shira Chalaschalaha. He has a golden hue and his beautiful body glitters like gold. His arms adorned with armlets studded with gems, and his body emanates a divine sandal fragrance. He is the slayer of demons. Viraha Vishamashunyo. He is the slayer of demons, and he is peerless and unequally. He is blemishless and draws everything into him at the time of pralaya, leaving nothing. He sprinkles the world with prosperity and is unshakable in his resolve. He moves faster than the speed of thought to protect and rescue of his devotees.
Wow, very good. And what about the other one? The Sannyasa.
Sannyasa Krishya Maschanto Nishtha Shanti Parayanam.
And do you have the meaning for that?
She's just looking.
Okay.
I'll just bring it up. Sannyasa Krishya Maschanto. I'd like to read it because, I don't want to say it with my understanding. I'd rather read it from the original.
Sannyasa Krita, he accepts the renounced order of life, which is what Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did at age of 24. Sama, fully sense-controlled. Shanta, peaceful. Nishta, rigidly fixed in the chanting of the names of Krishna. Shanti Parayana, highest abode of devotion and peace.
Beautiful, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the meaning for this particular verse.
No, that's okay. Take your time. Only reason we are going through this at the moment is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's birthday on Sunday. And of course, many people don't know Chaitanya or Nityananda. So we are looking at the scripture references that confirm that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Lord Krishna himself. And there's so many different scriptures. And one of them is the Vishnu Sahasranam. But this is confirmed in Padma Puran, the Bhavishya Puran, the Mahabharat, so many different scriptures, Garud Puran. So we're just giving the references to the devotees to show them that actually what we have here, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, is something totally unique. And we've got the opportunity in this new temple to introduce and educate ourselves about this. So that's where we've been coming from.
So this particular line, Sannyasa Krishya, is the second line of the verse, number 62. It says, Trisama Samagasama Nirvanam Peshasham Vishak Sannyasa Krishya Mashtanto Nishtha Shanti Parayanam. So the meaning goes, he is sung by the 3 hymns called Devrat, because it was, according to the folklore, it was Bhishma Pitama, or alas, Akka Devrat, who first said the 1,000 names of the Lord. He is sung by the 3 hymns called Devrat, the chanter of the Sama hymns, and he is the Sama Veda himself. He removes the sins of those who sing of him. He is the symbol of ultimate bliss, who is also the medicine of all the ills of life. He is also the ultimate physician, who gives relief from the miseries of life. He is the marker of the aesthetic, the giver of self-control, concentration, and peace, and he is both the means and the end to the final abode.
Brilliant. Brilliant. Good. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Prabhu and Mataji.
Hare Krishna. Just one second, Surinder, just one second. Bhavna Ben, you've had your hand up for some time.
Yes. Yes, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Radhika ji.
Hare Krishna.
I just wanted to ask you, Vanamali Gadi Sank, that verse, you say it 3 times. Is there any meaning behind that? And I really like that
Oh, it's
sloka.
beautiful. I love that.
Yes.
It's the last, it's the 108th verse. Vanamali Ghadi Shanki Shanki
Yes.
Chakri Chanandaki. His
Yes.
weapons.
Yep.
The Lord's weapons.
Manarayana.
Vanamali Ghadi Shanki Shanki Chakri Chanandaki. Shriman Narayano Vishnu Vasudevo Virakshatu. Vanamali Ghadi Shanki Shanki Chakri Chanandaki. Shriman Narayano Vishnu Vasudevo Virakshatu. Vanamali Ghadi Shanki Shanki Chakri Chanandaki. Shriman Narayano Vishnu Vasudeva Virakshatu. So the meaning of that, because obviously it's the weapons that he has, and the purport is he adorns the 5 divine weapons, namely the conch, Panjajanyam. That's the Lord's conch's name. Am I right, Prabhu? Is that Panjajanyam?
Yes. Very good.
The conch, the sword, the disc or the chakra as they call it, the bow and the mace, ever ready to protect his devotees. He is wielder of the disc, who is unshakable from his resolve and has infinite weapons at his disposal and is ever ready to act to protect his devotees. That's the most important part of the line, that the Lord uses weapons mainly to protect his devotees. Protect us, O Lord. And then the last line, Shriman Narayano Vishnu Vasudevo Virakshatu. Protect us, O Lord Narayana, who wears the garland of forest flowers, who has the mace, the conch, the sword, the disc, and who is called Vishnu Vasudeva. Salutations to Sri Vasudeva. May you protect us.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Vasudeva Virakshatu. Shriman Narayano
thank
Vishnu
you. So
Vasudeva
that's
Virakshatu.
You know, going forward, it'd be fantastic if you, every time we do this, you go through a few words. You said there's 108 verses. So I'm happy for you to go through, you know, maybe 5 verses at a go or something like that. That would be amazing.
Happy to, because oh my God, the meanings, and when you read it, you just fall in love with the verses and with just the names of the Lord. You know, I have a friend who's expecting, and you know, she was looking for a name for her child. It's probably going to be a girl child. And sorry, I'm just getting stuffy. And I told her, look, nowhere, don't buy these silly books. Just look at this Vishnu Sahasranam. There are 1,000 names, and of these 1,000 names, you can get those little, you know, for example, Aparajita. That's one of the names of the Lord. You can just break that. Jita is one, you know, Rajita. I mean, there are so many things you could do with the Lord's name. So so when we listen to the meanings of each of these, and even for me, it'll be a fantastic learning. When we listen to each of these, it'll be just so beautiful. In fact, just the first one, just the first verse is just so beautiful. Let me just go through that, which I'm sure you would have guessed by now. The first verse is Vishwam Vishnur Vashatkaro Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu. So the first name itself talks of Vishwam, you know, how he encompasses the whole world. That's his name. The whole world is his name. Just his name.
Yeah, very good. Very good.
Let me just read the meaning of the first verse. Vishwam, the all, the universe. Vishnu, he who pervades everything. Vasatkara, for whom the sacrificial verses are uttered in the yajnas. Bhuta Bhavya Bhavat Prabhu, the one who is the master and beyond the past, the present, and the future. Bhutakrit, the creator and the destroyer of the existences in the universe. Bhuta Brit, one who supports or sustains or governs the universe. Bhava, pure existence. Bhutatma, the essence of all beings. Bhuta Bhavanaha, he who originates and develops all elements.
Very good.
That's just the first verse. Of the
Very deep, very powerful. Thank you very, very much.
Thank you.
Surinder, you wanted to share?
Hare Krishna, Dandavat
Krishna.
Prabhu and Mataji. I
Hare-
have one question.
Oh,
In the Vishnu Sahasranam, I heard the name of Indra in that line. So I wanted to understand the explanation.
mm,
Also, Mataji mentioned Vishwambhara, yeah? So
yes.
one the name of Gauranga Mahaprabhu is
Mm.
Vishwambhara. And there is one line in one of the kirtans composed by Param Gurudev Srila Bhakti Rakak Siddhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. He mentions Vishwambhara Vishwera Kalyana. Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he brings auspiciousness to Vishwa, the whole world, everybody. Anyhow, I wanted to know that meaning of that line where there is the word Indra.
Mm.
There are a couple of times, in fact, Prabhuji, that Indra comes.
Yeah. If you can.
Indriyani manobuddhir sattvam tejo bhalam dyutihi. That's one.
Yeah.
And then this particular line, verse 84, Shubhangaloka saranga stutam tustantu vardhanaha Indra karma mahakarma krita karma kritagamaha. So the meaning goes, verse 84, he is endowed with beautiful limbs and he extracts the essence of the world like a honeybee. He has laid out the whole universe in a beautiful expanded form like a thread and protects the string, the universe. His actions are of grandeur, and he is the performer of several great deeds like the creation of the space, wind, fire, water, and earth. There is nothing further that remains to be done by him, and he has accomplished all his duties. He is the creator of the Vedas, the Godman, and of all the scriptures.
Yeah. Thank you, Mataji. Nitai Gaura Hari.
Haribol.
Very nice. Okay. Any other questions? I think Radhika should be given a little bit of her own treatment. She asks a lot of questions from many people. I think we should interrogate her on the Vishnu Sahasranam. Actually, it's fantastic. You got such good knowledge. And this is a blessing for us.
I was just reading the meanings from the book. I don't know.
Yeah. And that's
I had a question.
humility is just, very, very good. Very good. You know so much, yet you're not proud. So thank you so much. Very good.
I had a question. You know, we know the Dasavatar of the Lord, all the 10 avatars of the Lord. Is there a reason why scriptures didn't add Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as one of the avatars of the Lord?
That's a good question. He's considered as hidden avatar. So he's hardly described in many scriptures at all, because in Kali Yuga, it's described that the Lord is known as Three Yuga. He appears in Satyayug, Dwapayug, Tretayug. Doesn't generally appear in Kali Yuga. Or if he appears like Lord Buddha. Lord Buddha is also like a devotee. But or he appears completely hidden, like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who comes literally as a devotee. So that's why he's not referred to in the Das avatars, nor is he referred to in the 24 avatars given in the Bhagavatam first canto. Nor is he described in the Brahma Samhita, where descriptions are given of the different types of avatars, because he's hidden. And why is he hidden? Because in Kali Yuga, many people will advertise themselves as God. So the Lord wanted to keep himself hidden in Kali Yuga as an example that I am the Lord, but I'm going to not advertise myself as the Lord, and I will stay hidden. And he had a different purpose for coming in Kali Yuga. It was to, one, as Krishna, he said, Sarva Dharma Parityaja. But Krishna was accused. You're saying surrender, but you're not putting it into practice yourself. So Krishna said, okay, I understand what you're saying. And I promise I will come as a devotee and show how one can surrender onto Krishna, onto me. So that was one of the reasons why he came. But the more intimate reason was he came actually not as blackish, but golden, Radharani's color, because he stole the hue of Radharani. He stole the bhav, the love of Radharani, to understand how a devotee can love him so much. So that was the principal reason he came, to understand the love that Radha has. And he never could, even though he's a supreme Lord who knows everything, still he can't fathom out how much Radharani loves her. So this is the most intriguing part of Chaitanya's. It's the avatar which is the hardest to understand because he doesn't expose himself. Yet it's the most sublime to understand because it's the sweetness of the Lord comes through Chaitanya. And in this, in this age of Kali, I just finished. In this age of Kali, he shows the path of how one can attain pure love of Godhead in this very life, in this terrible age of Kali Yuga. Sorry, disturbed you.
So I was just going to say, is it described as Gupt avatar?
Yes. It's
Gupt avatar.
or Chaya avatar, they call it as well.
Okay. Yeah.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Thank you so much, Kamakshi. Was that okay?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much.
But because he's hidden, not many, and he originated in Bengal, not many people are familiar. Many people are, but they're just not completely aware of his position. And a lot of people think, this is an ISKCON thing. But of course, it's nothing to do with ISKCON. This is way, way before any ISKCON thing. This is actually to do with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And it's confirmed in so many different authorized scriptures. So, anything else, Radhika?
No, Prabhu, but it's just so interesting how he's described in so many different ways. In the Brahma Samhita, Brahma calls him or speaks about his dark color. Does he?
Brahma speaks about his dark color. Krishna.
Yeah. Yes, Krishna's dark.
He does. Venam Kwanantam Maravindam.
Yes.
Yes, he does. He talks about Shyam. Yes.
So at the moment, the Lord will be in Goloka, I presume. What form would he be in?
Nice question.
What is his form? And all the souls that reach him, do they get a body in Goloka?
Brilliant
What
question.
kind of a body? How would they be?
Very good question. What is he like right now? Two-handed form is his original form, but he can expand himself into anything he wants. Much Kach Varaha Nasing Vaman. But his original form, which he is Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Govindam Adi Purush, Adi, original person. And that's who Brahma worships, Tamaham Bhajami. So his original form is a two-handed form with the flute. That is his original form. And we are made in his form. Of course, some people think it's the other way around, that God is in our form, but actually we are made in his image. But he can take any form he likes to satisfy the devotee. Why does he take so many forms? Simply because there's so many devotees who like to worship him in different ways, and he accommodates the desires of the devotees. What do we look like when we go to the spiritual world? It just depends on, I think your ultimate roop will be an interviewer of Krishna. I can see you interviewing Krishna, saying, hey, you beat up that demon. Why'd you do that so badly to him?
Dare I ask questions of the Lord?
Oh, he loves it. He loves it when the devotee challenges. When Radharani she challenges him. if he's late when he's supposed to be on, coming at a certain time and he's late. One time she beat him very badly.
That's Radha Rani. She's a huge devotee.
Yeah. But of course he loves the beating, especially from Radha. But he also likes to be challenged by his devotees. He loves that. He loves when the Gopas challenge him when they're playing. In fact, he prefers a challenge because that shows the devotee doesn't care that I am the Lord and he's my devotee. No, devotee thinks this is a special friend of mine and I can interact with him as I desire. So as one likes to desire with the Lord, he will fulfill that person's desire. So he can take many different shapes and forms according to the desires.
And his original form is that Shyam Kala in Golok Vrindavan.
But what form you take depends on your original mood. So we've come here, we've forgotten our original mood. Some may worship him as lover or parent and have that mood eternally with him. And they would regain that eternal mood. Some may be his friend, some may be his servant, some may be in Shanta Ras, which means they're just happy to observe Krishna's activities. So there may be a piece of grass,
trees.
Or trees. So eternally, we all have our eternal form. We've just forgotten that. And the idea of Krishna consciousness is to revive that eternal connection with him. So it just depends on our particular relationship with God. What form we get depends on that.
And to get an idea of exactly what is happening in Golok Vrindavan, if you read the Krishna book, it gives you an idea of what happened here when Krishna came down. So that's exactly what would be happening up there as well.
And when he comes here, it doesn't mean he's left Golok. There are millions of universes like ours. And in every universe, there's some Leela going on about the Lord or with the Lord, or the Lord is performing some Leela. So when he is here, it doesn't mean he's left Golok. He's always there, eternally. And he comes, he expands himself. He can expand himself. We talk about Das Avatar, 24 avatars. Actually, there's billions and trillions of avatars. So he can interact with every single living entity if he so desires. And he does through the Paramatma. He's with us, connected with us all the time. But we've lost the connection with him. That's the problem.
Yes.
Very interesting questions, Radhika. They're like questions which, when we go to schools, the children, they're so clued up. They ask some incredible questions. And you think even adults don't ask these questions. But very, very nice. Thank you so much.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Anybody else? Really, really amazing session today. Yesterday was amazing as well. What was it? The Bhagavad Gita, learning the verses. But these sessions are second to none. We've opened, well, Radhika, good news. We've got the temple.
Oh, yay. Fantastic news.
Really good news.
Hare Krishna. Congratulations.
Yes, the Lord's mercy. But of course, this is the real temple. Operating like this through Zoom, where devotees coming together and speaking about the Lord, hearing about the Lord, questioning, and this is the real temple. So this is where my heart lies, actually. So I'd like to thank you all for joining us and really making this very special evenings to remember for very long periods of time. So Hare Krishna.
Do we have any, Hare Krishna, do we have any timeline? Sorry, I'm asking too many questions, I think.
No.
Do we have a timeline, of course, COVID permitting, when the temple may be ready? And
We are aiming for bank holiday Monday, the 30th of August, which is Sri Krishna Janmashtami.
oh, nice.
The aim.
Mhm.
Um,
So you can come with your camera crew.
Wonderful.
yeah, we're hoping 5 months is enough for refurb. We want to do a really good refurb, not skimming, not doing a second-rate job, but a proper job, so that temple becomes a model, of excellence for Sanatana Dharma. So we don't mind spending a little extra, but we need to make sure it's really paka, done nicely. And it might take a little longer to get that achieved, but we shall hopefully aiming to get there by 30th of August.
Wonderful news, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And we probably need some help from yourself in terms of just